Listen, guys, this is the vulnerable moment. This is the violence, start everything now.
I'ma be happy. I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy.
What's up, guys? My name is Patricia, also known as God's Design, here on YouTube, and welcome to my channel. So welcome to another video that I'm going to add to my reflection series. And here in these videos, we talk about matters of the mind, the body, and the soul. So thank you guys so much for supporting these videos. If you haven't subscribed, then go ahead and click the subscribe button, and you might as well like the video while you're at it. So today I'm coming to you guys with a requested video. I think it was on one of my last reflection series videos. Someone asked a question that I think was a great video suggestion, and I don't remember the exact wording. I'll probably put it on the screen. Question went something like, how do you deal with shyness or introversion? So that's what we're going to deal with today. Let me give you guys a little bit of backstory about me so you understand. Those of you guys who watch my vlog channel probably have heard me talk about this before, but if you didn't know, now you know. I am a straight up introvert. If you don't know, y'all Google that mug. Y'all should know what an introvert is versus an extrovert, and I think it's really useful if you know which one you are. I'm going to talk about introverts today because that's what I am and what I most identify with, and also it relates to the question. And so an introvert is a person that enjoys small group gatherings versus large group gatherings. In crowds or in crowded places, you feel overwhelmed, you feel drained, you feel very small, and you just can't wait to get to, you know, wherever you're living, you know, your space, your what my sister and I used to refer to as cave or our lair. Not knowing at that age, that young, not knowing what an introvert versus an extrovert was, but we referred to when it was time to like go to the room at the end of the day, knowing that was our cave, that was our that was our lair. And we valued that time, us both being introverts. These are people who usually have a small group of friends. These people spend more time thinking and observing than they typically do talking. These people have a really good sense of people because they take time to listen and watch versus speak. They tend to feel drained and overwhelmed when they're in group or social settings for extended period of time. Guys, you can look up, there's tons of things. I can go on and on about the characteristics or the traits of an introvert, but I'll probably leave some things down below that I think will help you guys and help you guys identify which one you are, so you can understand why you are the way that you are. So one of my subbies asked this question, and they sort of lump shyness and introversion in the same category, but you can be an outgoing introvert. There is such thing, so I really don't want to put those two together. So let's deal with the shyness first, because I think this is probably what she was really asking, is how to deal with shyness. Guys, I was extremely shy. When I tell you, extremely shy growing up. I used to get really bad anxiety about, like, I remember the biggest thing that I can remember, two things, is singing at church and also having to speak in class. Those were two things that I absolutely hated and dreaded doing. And I think I've shared this on my vlog channel before. My parents used to make, when I say make, I mean make my sister and I get up and sing. And my sister, who by the way is very introverted, didn't mind getting up and singing in front of people. She wasn't shy. My sister's never been shy per se, but she's an introvert. But I was shy, and guys, it just petrified me. All those eyes on me at one time. What if I mess up? What if I sing the wrong note? What if my voice cracks? What if there's a booger in my nose? Like, what if? Guys, I was petrified of doing it, that it would literally bring me to tears. It's a wonder why people who know me when I was little and see me sing and speak now just absolutely cannot believe it, because guys, it was so bad. And if any of you guys who happen to be watching who knew me way back when, definitely comment so everyone else can believe you believe what I'm saying is, guys, it was bad. The other thing that really bothered me was raising my hand in class. I remember I would just quickly break a sweat. In my 7th grade math class, I will never forget this, we used to go over our homework. That'd be one of the first things that we do, and it'd be like maybe 30 questions, and it was like a 25-person class, and everyone was to answer a question. So I'm here counting where I'd be, which question I would have. I'm counting the people in line, which side of the classroom is the teacher going to start at, and then that means I'm going to have number 7 or I'm going to have number 25, depending if he's going to go this way or that way. Guys, and I have to make sure that the question I'm going to get, that's actually right or wrong, because then I'm going to be embarrassed and it's not, and then I talk quietly and then everybody will be like, oh, we can't hear you, what'd you say? And then it's like more tension. Everybody, guys, it was bad. So I understand where you're coming from, girl. It can be hard to get over that shyness. We're going to talk about how to do that today. So the first thing I would like you guys to do is really accept your shyness. And I know that sounds weird, you know, and I know that maybe it's not a little bit cliche to you guys, but I really think that's important. I really think that's the first step of it, because it's part of who you are, right? It's part of what makes you you, and I think you should accept that. There's a book that I want to suggest to you guys, and if you guys are an introvert, right, and you know it for sure, there's a book that I want you to read. It's called Quiet. The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. I really appreciated the book because it really talked about the power of introverts and some of the traits that may be associated with us, but not always, and one of them being shyness, or maybe timid, reserved, observant, you know, some of the things that may be considered, you know, a negative, just because we've been, you know, we're in a world where extroversion is so glorified. And actually the writer talks about the history of that. Please read that book, because I think there's a reason why we associated these things as being negative, and it has to do with the industrialization of sort of our culture, our country, and you know, consequently our culture. And I think there are reasons to that, and I think you guys should really read the book, because I think it's really helpful. So I want you to accept it, and not accept it as a negative thing, but really embrace it as a positive thing, because there are definitely, you know, pros. You may not think that they are, but there are pros of being a bit shy and being cautious, because there are some mistakes that you won't tend to make because you know, you're naturally a bit hesitant. However, I do understand that it can be crippling in your relationships, you know, crippling in your work life, or even in school. And there, you know, you kind of want to check it. You want to check it a bit, and I do understand that. But I think the first part of it is accepting it and owning it, and loving it, because it's a part of who you are. The second thing I want you guys to do is to figure out what your triggers are. Like I said, two of the things that really freaked me out was speaking or singing in front of people. You know, speaking in class, and you know, singing in front of people. And so, you know, when I dug a bit deeper, this is when I got much older, because I always sort of passed that off as stage fright, right? When I dug a bit deeper, I realized that it was a confidence thing. It was a self-esteem thing, because I wasn't sure if I was good enough, if I was gonna sound right, if I was gonna say something dumb, or I was gonna say the wrong thing. I wasn't confident in what I knew and what I learned and what my music teacher taught me. I wasn't confident in my ability to perform. And so I realized, you know, when I got in college, that I had a confidence issue, right? And that I had to deal with. And that was the root cause, right? I figured out what my triggers were. But then also, next thing I would tell you guys to do is to narrow it all the way down to the root cause. And so it was a self-esteem thing. It was a confidence thing that really prevented me from, you know, speaking in large groups, because I was afraid I was going to say something dumb, or I was going to say something and not be accepted, or say something and, you know, that wasn't right. And that made me hesitant, and that made me shy. And what I realized was it was a confidence issue. It was a confidence problem, and I had to address that. When you find out what the trigger is, then you narrow it down to the root problem. You got to deal with that. Deal with whatever that is. So what I did was I prayed, and I prayed to God that I would see myself as He sees me, right? And because if God was so hung up on all of my imperfections, like, I would be lost, out for the count, right? But because He sees me and sees potential, that's why I'm still in the game, y'all, you know, and because he made the sacrifice for me. You know, we're not gonna go all the way there. We ain't gonna reach today, right? I wanted to see myself as he saw me and to value myself the way he values me. And so I started to purposefully pick out positive things about me, you know what I mean? And oh, I like, you know, my eyes, and oh, I love my lips, and you know, I love my voice, the sound of my voice. Like, I love, you know, it used to be that I couldn't even stand the sound of my own voice. Watching my videos back, because I started doing videos in college, it was torture for me, right? Or even hearing the sound of my voice back, I'm literally criticizing every single thing. And I haven't been cured of that. I'm still hypercritical of myself. But I think that's just that part of the perfectionist part of me. But it's not so much in a negative way. It's how can you get better, right? It's not like your voice sounds horrible. It's like, how can you make your voice better? And I think that's coming from a completely different angle, one being healthy and one being not healthy, you know? I started to focus more on positive things and not so much on negative things. And it started to build my confidence, you know? I started to value my body inside and out. And, you know, I was eating better and working out, and you know what I'm saying? And it just made me feel better. It just made me feel better on the inside, and it helped to boost my confidence. And I didn't feel like I could feel confident and to speak in social situations and not feel like I was gonna say something dumb, or you know, it really helped to build my confidence. And as my confidence grew, the shyness started to diminish a bit. The last thing I want you guys to do, which is so critical, and I wish that this wasn't part of the equation, but it is, and it matters, and it's probably the biggest thing yet, is to force yourself into uncomfortable situations. You have to do it. As much as I resented, this was my dad's thing. The singing was my dad's thing, because my dad is the musician. My mom can sing, but she doesn't play. My dad plays several instruments, and that was his thing. His girls are going to play music, and they're going to sing, and they're just going to do it. So we started piano lessons when, well, I was 6. My sister was 4 actually. And we started piano lessons all the way up until I was 17, basically until I went away to college. And I appreciate that. However, when I was a kid, not so much, because I didn't like to be forced in situations where I had to sing or play in front of people. But it was me constantly doing it that made it more comfortable over time. As much as I hate to admit it, but it is what it is. And it's now, of course I get nervous. That never goes away. That never goes away. And you know, I do get the butterflies in my stomach. That's gonna happen, but it's not so crippling that I get up there and guys, I used to be crying, boogers falling out my nose, coming out the side, my eyes are red, coming out it used to be a mess. I used to be a mess, but I can make it through it. And to speak, like, guys, I don't know, it was just weird. I had like this moment when I spoke at a pinning ceremony last year, a few years, I can't remember, but I brought you guys along with me, or those of you guys who subscribe to my vlog channel. And I remember speaking and then seeing my dad sitting in the front, because my family came, my dad in the front, you know, with the camera. It just reminded me, it was like a flashback to when I was like a kid. And I don't know why I'm getting choked up right now. It just took me back. But this time, you know, my dad, just looking at him and how proud he was and how comfortable, nervous, but comfortable that I was on stage. And this is because I constantly had to do it, and I constantly did it. And you know, things are not gonna come easy, guys. They're not gonna come easy to us. And you can't look at the next person and think that, oh, they're so comfortable and confident, look how they can just speak well, and then you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what's going on in their stomach. There may be butterflies, just as many. But with the difference between you guys, right, you two, is that one is gonna allow the butterflies to stop him or her, and the other one isn't. And you know, the shyness, that's you. It's a part of who you are, right? Accept it. But the problem is when you allow it to hinder you, right? And so you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. It's not going to feel good. But I promise you, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. And all of a sudden, you know, it's slowly but surely, you'll see yourself become more confident, and you're able to carry a conversation and add to a conversation, and, you know, speak in front of people or sing in front of people or even talk to a stranger, you know, and it doesn't feel so bad, right? But it's okay, like, to be a bit, you know, quiet and reserved. I think in my, was it my last video? Yeah, in my last reflection video, I think it was entitled, Not Everybody's Gonna Like You. I explained to you guys that sometimes I could be misunderstood and how people sometimes perceive me as stuck up, but really it's because I'm quiet, I'm reserved, I'm observing what's going on. And that's still a part of me, you know what I'm saying? That is part of being, you know, an introvert. And I am totally okay with that. I don't allow my shyness or allow, you know, my character traits to, you know, stop me from getting, you know, any opportunity that comes my way. I really try, and listen guys, this is the vulnerable moment. This is the violence, start everything now. I try not to let fear be a reason I don't do something, you know. I try not to allow I'm too scared to be an excuse. And I want you guys to do the same thing and feel, let it be something else. Let it be, I don't believe in this, or this is not, you know, this is going against my brand. This goes against what I stand for, or this goes against my beliefs. But it's not because, and it should not be because I'm scared or you're scared. You know, be fearless, guys. Be fearless, and don't allow your shyness to hinder you from doing what you want to do and getting what you want to get, you know, in this life. So guys, yeah, those are my tips on how to overcome shyness. Are any of you guys shy? Are you an introvert, an extrovert? Let me know down below, and I'd love to see your tips as well, guys, because, you know, it's a dialogue. I'm not the only one that has all the answers, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a dialogue. So let me know what you guys think about this topic down below. I appreciate you guys so much, and I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys very soon with another one. And as always, God bless.
Get that understood. I'ma be happy, I'ma be good. You better believe it. I'ma be happy, I'ma be good. Get that understood. I'ma be happy.